Hi, this is Bonnie, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit different card than I've done before, and I was inspired by something I found on Pinterest. So these are some of the products that I'm going to use. I'm going to be using Fairy Stampers Just a Note Sentiment, and it is actually 138. And I'm going to be using the Wild Leaves, which is number 56. And I'm going to be using the Fairy Whispers, and I think that's 361. And I'm going to be using this sentiment that says the world needs you just the way you are. I'm also going to be using 2 circle dies, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you what the sizes of those are. This one is about, let's see here, about 3 3/4. And this one must be about 3 inches. I'm a little bit shy of 3 inches. Let's see. No, it's 3 inches. So 3 and 3 1/4. 3 and 3 1/4. And what I've already done, I'm going to go ahead and show you this also, is I have cut a piece of paper that is 5 3/4 square. And I've also cut another paper that's just shy of that, and that is 5 1/4. So I found the center, and I used the largest die first, and I cut that out. And then for the smaller piece of paper, I used this smaller die and in the center and cut that out. And what it's going to be end up doing is I'm going to be matting that. As you can see, that's going to be matted. So I'm going to keep this off to the side. The other thing I want you to do is make sure you keep the largest circle, not that you can't keep both of them, but we're going to use this for part of our project as well. And so I'm going to go ahead and get that just set up really quickly. I got to open this up, and I'm just going to go ahead and set this inside. I think I want to put a smaller piece of paper inside. I wasn't planning on that. I'll just put this in half. So I just want to cover up that circle in the center so the ink does not get on my board. And let's see here. I'm using some different products today, and so I'm a little bit disoriented as to where everything is located. I don't normally use this stamping base. So I have also pulled out several different colors, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I'm using for that. Also, just 1 second. I'm going to line these up for myself, and I am going to start with Stormy Sky. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be placing these leaves all the way around. And I'm debating whether I want the larger one or the smaller one. And in this case, I think I'm going to start using the smaller one. I wasn't really sure. I've not made this one before. And what I'm using is Distress Oxide today. And this one happens to be, like I said, Stormy Sky, or maybe I didn't say, but it is Stormy Sky. And these stamps, this ink, I want to say is not as crisp when I stamp, and that's okay because that's the look I'm going for. So we're going to go around this entire circle using all the different color inks, and that's all I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is, instead of continuing to talk, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video, and I'm going to go all the way around so I can speed it up. Okay, so I just finished stamping all the way around. I am going to go ahead and stamp it in between all the way around using Pumice Stone. I'm just going to stamp once to show you and then show you what it looks like in the end, so you don't have to watch me doing the entire thing. But I'm just going to go and stamp over that. Excuse me. Okay. I just want a filler to go in between all of them. So it's very light, as you can see. Here, let me show that a little bit closer to you so you can see in the light. My lighting here is not the best, but when you get done, when I get done all the way around, I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I've got that frame all finished. I don't know if you can see the little subtle bit in between also and all the different colors. So this is our main part of our card. And then like I said, I want you to then take the larger piece that you just cut out, and I want to stamp the sentiment in the middle of this. But what I'm going to be using is clear embossing. Well, I am going to use clear embossing, but I'm going to use Versamark ink. This is a ink that is clear also, and the technique I want to do is I want it so my sentiment is going to be white in the background. So I'm just going to go ahead and center that on there and stamp that with the Versamark ink. Now, I have more of a, I know there's a lot of really good white ink out there, but I have a lot of problems with getting a really nice clear sentiment sometimes. So I like to use the clear. Make sure I get this good. Sometimes I flip this over and press it down to even try to get even a better impression occasionally. It's harder for me to see when it's clear. Okay. So then the next thing that I'm going to do, you actually can kind of see it because it took a little bit of that ink off. That's okay. I don't care if it's a little bit of a shadow. So then what I'm going to do right away is I'm going to put some clear embossing powder on that. So that will be my background. And I have that right here. Of course, I can't get that opened. There we go. Must be the first time I've used this one. Yep. There we go. I usually have a little spoon, but again, I'm in a different location and I don't have all my tools. Okay. So that's gonna work. It's not gonna be completely white like I was planning on, but that's gonna work. That'll give us a little bit of a hint anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna heat emboss that, but I have one more I want to stamp the same way, except for this time I'm gonna use a little piece of scrap paper. But I'm going to be doing the exact same thing, except for it's going to be a different sentiment. As soon as I find out where I put it, there it is. This is the one that the world needs you just the way you are. Take this other one off, and we'll use the same ink. And because there's a little bit of black on here, I'll probably get the same halo. Gray halo. And I'm not 100% sure this one's going to work because it's smaller, but we're going to give it a try. Okay. Okay. I think I see it all. Having that little bit of a shadow does help. All right. Get my embossing powder again. Just sprinkle that on. Okay, that's gonna work too. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and heat those and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got that one embossed and you can see a little bit of the shine on it. And I am going to be using Salvaged Patina. And all I'm going to do is it's a resist, basically all it is. And I am just going to go over this to make the resist. And like I said, I kind of wanted it to be white, but I'm perfectly fine with it being this way as well. And I know the darker I make it, the more it'll show up. So this is one way to get around not having a white or any color background actually. If my paper would have been a different color background, of course this ink would have also showed up differently on here. But this is your resist. You've seen many people do resist before. This is one of the ways you can do this type of a resist. And it goes pretty quickly. And I think you can see how quick that went. All right, so that's gonna be the center of our card. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the word one and see if we can get this one to work. It's smaller. I have not done it this way before. And I forgot to bring my Distress Oxide black, but I've heard this is a better way to go anyway. I am using the Distress Ink black soot instead of the Oxide. And obviously this works perfectly fine. I'm going to cut this into a strip, and it's going to be a sentiment strip. And it seems to be working really great. But again, I want to make sure it looks pretty black. dark as I can get it. Not too gray. So that's another way, like I said, you can do a recessed, and you can see the sentiment on there really well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this cut and put the stuff together so you can see what it's going to look like. Okay, so I've got the card, the second layer finished, and what I did is I just glued the circle to the background so that it makes it like a frame. And then the next thing I did is I put foam tape on the back of the frame part, and I'm going to line that up so that it matches up so I can put it on my card properly. And then I'm going to line this up on the card base. And there you go. You have a finished card, except for I'm going to add one more sentiment. And you'll also see at the beginning of the video, I'm going to put some sequins down here to give it a little bit more bling. So I'm going to go ahead and use this foam tape also for the sentiment and get that attached. The links to all the product will be in the description below. Okay, get this the right way around. I think I got that pretty straight, yep. Okay, so there we are. We have a finished card, and very simple. You can send that to anybody. It's just a note, and let them know how appreciated they are. So appreciate you stopping by, and like I said, all the product will be in the description below. Thanks so much.